Hey everybody, I was in the gym yesterday. I saw a friend of mine who was suffering from allergies from pollen. And I told them a story. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that eating raw honey will help with pollen allergies. And anecdotally, it's been very true in my observations. It was something I read about a long time ago and I never forgot. My brother used to suffer severely from pollen allergies when we lived in California, and I passed that information on to him. He got a bottle of honey, so it has to be honey that's made locally, because you have to have the bees that have the pollen from the local flowers that you're allergic to on them, and then when they create the honey, there's little particles of that pollen in there, and that in turn acts in the same way that a vaccination works. It puts a small amount of the virus, or in this case, whatever is causing the allergy in there. And then your body starts to create antibodies from that to protect itself. And then you build up antibodies, and then you no longer have problems with inflammation from the pollen. It's interesting, if you search online for any kind of proof, all of the doctors that they interview will say, oh, there's no scientific proof that that works, because there's never been any studies done. We know why, like every other thing, if it's a natural product that no money can be made from the pharmaceutical industries, there will be no such studies done on this. There's plenty of anecdotal evidence from many people. And just to show you, this is honey that I get near me that is local. And this one was from spring. And I have honey every day, and I'll tell you why in a moment. And then this honey is now for summer, which we're almost into. I eat honey every day. I eat it as a supplement, because most people will also say, oh, honey's just sugar, but it's not. It acts differently in the body. It actually helps with cell metabolism. It makes your mitochondria work better, or at least that's what the latest studies are saying. And I believe it. The only warnings I've ever seen about eating honey are for children under 12, because they say their immune system isn't fully formed yet, and then that can somehow injure you. However, that doesn't seem to be an issue when they're stuffing a bunch of vaccines into your children. But apparently it's a problem with raw honey. I don't know. And then also, if you're allergic to bee stings, they say that that could trigger a reaction. I've never actually heard of that occurring, but it could be true. So something to consider before jumping on the raw honey bandwagon. But I will say, it seems to work and be very helpful against pollen allergies. So if you're suffering from pollen allergies this spring, consider getting some raw honey that's made locally. What have you got to lose?